to the Daily Grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, because you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
And what is going on, full-time family? It is time to look at, break down, and talk about this weekend's fights across the MMA industry, because it is not just an amazing UFC pay-per-view this weekend. And when I say amazing, take that with a grain of salt, because it's amazing if you're a hardcore fan. Like, there's 3 fights I'm looking forward to on this card, but there was a fight I was looking forward to on PFL that just happened last night, and there's a lot of fights I'm looking forward to on this Bellator card that I didn't even realize was this Saturday. I've been swamped at work with the channel, doing other stuff, and so I didn't even realize Bellator was going down this weekend. I didn't realize it was this big of a card. We've got a champ versus champ fight, Michael Chandler versus Pitbull Ferrer. We've got the welterweight Grand Prix semifinals, Douglas Lima versus Michael Page, AJ McKee versus Pat Curran, Jake Hager, Bellator's Brock Lesnar versus a fan that won some competition, TJ Jones. It's really like a fan gets to fight a fucking professional wrestler in an MMA fight. Good luck. Gonna be wild, interesting. Taiwan Claxton versus James Bennett. All of these fights are good. 1 through 5. This Bellator card is stacked. So we're going to be doing a dual fight companion. It looks like watching UFC and Bellator this Saturday, because usually Bellator is on Fridays, which is why I thought I was going to have to miss it because I'll be at work tonight. But it's coming on Saturday, same night as the UFC, so they will be competing, and boy, this is a hell of a worthy card by Bellator, and it's free on that hand. So if you don't want to have to go through the struggles of signing up for ESPN Plus and paying for that pay-per-view through the app, even though I know they got some deal going on, but a lot of people had trouble in the first week with the ESPN Plus exclusive. So if you want to avoid that headache, Bellator is a great option this weekend. PFL happened yesterday, so that's where we're going to start. We're going to go over the PFL results because, of course, my motherfucking girl, Kayla Harrison, won at PFL 1. But Sarah Kaufman leads the women's lightweights after the first round because she got a first-round submission. Harrison got a decision, and the way the PFL works, if you get a decision, I believe you get 4 points. Or 3 points. If you win in the second round, I think you get 4 points. Yeah, that's how it works. Decision, 3 points. Third round KO, 4 points. Second round KO, 5 points. First round KO is 6 points, I believe. So at the end of the season, you tally up all the points, and whoever's got the top 8 makes it to the playoffs. Once you're in the playoffs, you fight your first round, and then you have to win 2 fights in one night in order to become the champion and win the $1 million. So Sarah Kaufman got the first round submission. She leads the lightweights. Harrison, who a lot of people I'm sure expect to be the favorite, she won a decision, and she was not happy with it. She shed tears after this because it wasn't a dominant performance, and Kayla Harrison is elite and expects nothing but greatness. She was not happy with her performance, even though one judge gave her the fight 30-25 on the judges' scorecards. Clearly it was a domination, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't perfect. And that's what it takes to be an elite athlete. That's immediately what I pointed out when everybody was pointing out how Kayla Harrison wasn't perfect this fight, and she's crying after the win. Yeah, I would have expected nothing less. She's only 3 fights in her pro career, fighting girls with double her experience. Nobody does that. None of the GOATs have done that. You can go to men or women GOATs. None of them in their first 3 fights are fighting people with double their experience. When you start your career off, you fight other people that are starting their career off. You're not 2-0. You're not 1-0 fighting a girl that's 8-2. You're not fucking 3-0 fighting a girl that's 11-2. That is elite shit. She's still winning these fights dominantly. Still dominating the scorecards or getting these girls out of there. But it's not perfect. And by having those expectations on yourself, That's how you win an Olympic gold medal twice. Because you don't settle for mediocre. And so the fact that her fight last night wasn't perfect is even better for Kayla Harrison, because she's not only going to take this, motivate, and learn from it, use this as motivation and learn from it, but it shows you how important this is to her. So I think last night Kayla Harrison had a phenomenal performance, fighting girls with double her experience, and I think she'll be fine. But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to the rest of this female lightweight tournament, and even the PFL. Like I said, I like how their whole structure is. Sarah Kaufman is leading the division right now. Everyone talked about how good Sarah Kaufman looked, and I seen some people, salute to my boy Combat Buds, he believes that Kaufman can beat Harrison possibly, the way that they, just comparing their performances last night. I disagree, but, it's neither here nor there. They will have to meet up at some point. Maybe it'll be in the playoffs, who knows, but I do think Kayla Harrison, before the time they meet up, now I don't know how their matchmaking works in the tournament. I don't know if it's a predetermined schedule. I don't know how that works. But if they don't meet up until the playoffs, as long as Kayla Harrison has time for maybe 1-2 more fights and just a little more time to train with the American top team at the highest level, with that motivation and drive that made her shed tears even though she won a dominant unanimous decision, that she'll be able to handle it. So looking forward to that. Let's check out the PFL results, because it wasn't only Kayla Harrison fighting. Also, Ray Cooper III and Sarah Kaufman advanced. You remember Ray Cooper III, of course, from last season. Magomed Karimov was actually the main event. He defeated UFC veteran John Howard by submission. So season 1 fan favorite Ray Cooper, he defeated his cousin Zain Kamaka by submission. That's interesting. He fought his cousin there. While UFC and Invicta veteran Sarah Kaufman defeated Morgan Freire by submission. Now, I don't know anything about Morgan Freire, so I'm sure Sarah Kaufman looked amazing, but was she fighting the same level of competition as Kayla Harrison comparatively? Let's see. Morgan Freire. Because you can't just put a girl against a can and then fucking say, oh my god, she looked amazing. You can't put Francis Ngannou against a fucking regional guy and say, oh my god, that knockout was so good. He might be the champion. He might be the No. Literally. Sarah Kaufman is a Invicta and UFC veteran, and she's fighting a girl that's 4-2. That really puts stuff into perspective. Kayla Harrison is in her 3rd pro fight, fighting a girl that's 11-2. Kayla Harrison is new to this fighting tougher competition. No shit, she looked worse in her fight. That was supposed to happen. Sarah Kaufman's supposed to run through a girl that's 4-1 or 4-2. Kayla Harrison should have maybe make one mistake against a girl that's got triple her experience. I mean, I'm not worried, man. I'm not worried. This girl, oh my god, it gets worse. This girl fought, look! This is exactly what I'm talking about. This fucking girl, Morgan Freire, this is what you would expect from someone that's just getting their feet wet if they're trying to pad a record. Look who she's fighting. 0-0, 0-1, 0-0, 0-0. And then you fucking go against Sarah Kaufman? Yeah, no shit, you got fucking choked out in the first round. It's not close. That fight is close to not being sanctioned because they're not on the same level. Now let's just look at who Kayla Harrison fought in comparison. Like, you see, this girl is clearly not Kayla Harrison. You see who she's fighting in the beginning of her career. Now let's look at who Kayla Harrison's fighting in the beginning of her career. 3-4, that's 7 pro fights. That's not 0-0. 8-1, that's a girl that had only lost 1 time. 3-4, 7 more pro fights. 11-2. This is not 0-0 and 0-0 and 0-0. No. Let's add that up. 19 plus 6, that's 25 wins and 11 losses. Kayla Harrison is 4-0, and she's fought opponents with a combined record of 25-11. She got 3 fucking pro fights, guys. I mean, I know a lot of people are missing it. A lot of people immediately jump to hate on Kayla Harrison because they assume she's so privileged. Man, I'm not thinking about no goddamn privilege. I'm thinking about skills, potential, and the drive and the determination of becoming a 2-time Olympic medalist, transferring that to American top team, one of the greatest fight teams on the planet, fighting at a new division, 155 pounds for the women. That's already a division. I mean, we couldn't fill up the featherweight division. Kayla Harrison's got women's MMA getting the lightweight fucking division already. You'd want to talk about there was never a real contender for Cyborg before the Nunes knockout, of course. Kayla Harrison, she had the potential to be that. I mean, just oodles and oodles of potential. You know what I mean? What a fucking term. It's the last time you guys heard someone say oodles and oodles. Either way, man, the hype is real. It is not hype. Kayla Harrison is the fucking real deal, you guys. And she will carry PFL on her back. I will watch every damn event she's on if I'm not at work. Alright, let's check out this Bellator card coming up this weekend as well. Michael Chandler versus Patricio Pitbull. Champ versus champ. Featherweight champion versus the lightweight champion. I assume Patricio's stepping up to fight Michael Chandler. Yep, lightweight world title bout. So, he's got 10 more fights, professional fights. He fights at a high level. Patricio could very well become a 2-division champion in this fight. That is a very real possibility, but Michael Chandler's a bad motherfucker, so I just want to watch that one. I haven't done enough research. I didn't do breakdowns like I did for the UFC fights to give you a confident prediction. I might give a slight edge to Mike. This is a toss-up for me. Toss-up for me right there. This is one I just can't wait to see. Douglas Lima versus Michael Page. Yikes, dude. This is just a fucking phenomenal fight, man. I don't know where Douglas Lima's so good. He's well-rounded, former Bellator champion. He's fought at the highest level. He gave, good rounds to the current champ, Rory McDonald. I mean, some people thought he argued, you could have argued he fucking had a good chance. If his hands got raised, it wouldn't have been a terrible decision either. So he's one of the best welterweights over at Bellator. Michael Page, one of the best strikers probably in the welterweight world, right? I mean, in MMA, he's phenomenal. His last performance against Paul Daly, he actually had Paul Daly shooting for takedowns. It was that kind of fight, but it worked, which is why it's hard for me to really pick Michael Page against anybody at the high level. Right now, Michael Page, he's kind of been getting fed fish food in a sense, so he could entertain and dance and knock guys out. The competition wasn't really there. Now he's in the fucking Shark Tank, man. He's in there with guys like John Fitch. I mean, John Fitch just got eliminated barely, but, I mean, even the guy he just fought that was taking him down, Paul Daly, he's going to have well-rounded MMA fighters with a lot of experience who, if they're not getting the best of you with the feet, they can use their takedowns because they're so much better than you in the grappling. So any one of these guys has a chance of beating Michael Page with the wrestling. Every single guy in this tournament. But he's also got a chance of beating them with a knockout, maybe winning a decision. I got to give the edge to Douglas Lima in this fight, but it's tough because Michael Page, he cracks dude's skull, literally caves shit in. So I got Douglas Lima, another fight I can't wait for. AJ McKee, a phenomenal wrestler, undefeated, trains with, Aaron Pico and the boys, just a really good fighter. Pat Curran as well. Haven't done, like I said, a full breakdown for the card, but off the top of my head, I got to give this to AJ McKee. Too talented of an individual. I mean, as far as what we've seen so far, the wrestling, well-rounded actually. Extremely dangerous. I got AJ McKee in this fight, despite the experience disadvantage. I know he's been extremely active and just fucking guys up, so I will take AJ McKee there. Jake Hager, come on, man. He's fighting literally like a fan that won a competition. I don't even know how the competition came about. I don't even know why this guy has a record of 1-1 or if that's true. But the headline I said this guy, TJ Jones, literally won a competition to fight Jake Hager. So, I mean, hey, maybe let's look him up. Jake Hager Tapology, and let's see if this guy actually is 1-1 or if that's just kind of embellishment there. Okay, he's actually 1-1. Alright, he had a fight in 2017. Now, it wasn't anybody UFC caliber. It was a guy that was 0-1. They were both 0-1. I mean, clearly it was just like the lowest level of MMA. By the way, he's taking on like Bellator's Brock Lesnar. I'm not giving him a chance. This is almost like a freak show. It's like Brock Lesnar versus some 1-1 guy. And this isn't exactly Brock Lesnar, clearly, but it's Bellator's version. Alright, so we got another fight on the Bellator cards before we get to these UFC cards. Taiwan Claxton, James Bennett, not close. Taiwan Claxton, I don't even gotta talk about that fight. This dude's a stud wrestler. I think he was the one that just said something about he thinks he could beat Jordan Burroughs in MMA wrestling. If you're fucking talking like that, your wrestling's too good for whoever the hell you're throwing at. Like, I don't think you can beat Jordan Burroughs, but the fact that you think you can compete with Jordan Burroughs, you probably got some pretty solid wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And those wrestling studs, Scott Coker's known for finding those guys, building them up, you know, giving them the time to become well-rounded fighters, and then they end up being some of the best fighters on the planet. So I think Taiwan Claxton's still in the early stages of that. You can expect a dynamic performance and probably finish from Taiwan Claxton in this fight. Now, let's talk about the UFC fights this weekend, guys. Then I'll be out your hair. I can head to work and you guys can get on with the rest of your day. We talked about the main card a little bit earlier in the week, so we're gonna skim over the main card, even though it's just really these top 3 fights right here I just cannot wait for. Rose Namajunas, Jessica Andrade, Anderson Silva, Jared Cannonier, and Jose Aldo Volkanovski. Now, I will tell you, if you wanted me to rank my fights to watch this week, personally, number 1 at the top, Namajunas Andrade. Number 2, Aldo Volkanovski. Number 3, Pitbull versus Chandler. Number 4, Kayla Harrison, of course. Number 5, Silva Cannonier. Number 6, MVP versus Lima. Those are the 6 fights the best 6 fights of this weekend. And 3 of those are here on this UFC card. All on the top of the card. So these are the fights I really can't wait for here. Just quick predictions if you didn't check the video. Andrade I think I edged out Anderson Silva. I gave him the edge. And then Alexander Volkanovski as well. So I got the right side here. Hey, maybe I'll be right. Also, though, we have Thiago Alves versus Laureano Staropoli. Irene Aldana versus Betch Correia. That's interesting. Definitely not as good as a lot of those, probably any of those Bellator fights, though. Like, if you're talking about as a whole main card, I almost like Bellator's 1 through 5 more. But it's close. It's close. Antonio Rogério Nogueira versus Ryan Spann, Superman. You got Little Nog versus Superman. That's going to be really interesting. I like that fight a lot. Thiago Moises, Kurt Holloway. I like that fight. Warley Alves versus Sergio Moraes. Another really good fight, actually. BJ Penn, Clay Guida. Now, if you want to go 1 through 15 on the fight card, it's not close. UFC, because their prelims actually look pretty fucking good. Priscilla Cachoeira returning with a new look. After that Valentina Shevchenko massacre, Valentina's Day massacre, she was at the hands of, I don't think Mario Yamasaki has reffed an event since. I do think Priscilla's going to come in here and get this win over Luana Carolina. This girl, Luana, is not sniffing Valentina Shevchenko, so I think this is a fight for Priscilla to kind of come back and get her feet under her. Raoni Barcelos versus Carlos Houchin, not close. Raoni, impressive finish. I'm talking about it might be early. I don't know when it's coming, but Raoni Barcelos is a fucking monster, and he's fighting a guy that's taking this fight on like 3 hours notice. Like really short notice, like a second opponent, and Raoni's a monster. So I got Raoni, not close. Talita Bernardo versus Viviane Araujo. I mean, that is whoever. Viviane making her debut. Talita Bernardo trying to get a dub. It is what it is. Alright, guys, those are all the fights this weekend. This is the fight breakdown, the ultimate, weekend fight breakdown. You got the PFL, Bellator, you got the UFC. Can't wait. Of course, we're going to be watching these fights together, reacting to these fights, and just enjoying the show over on UFC Yankovic. We have one more week, and then we will be back to streaming on our main channel. This BS copyright strike will be over with. But you can also, of course, follow us on sportsbooth.tv/fulltimemma, and we'll be streaming over there as well. And they've got a lot of features and capabilities for fight companions. Like, you can, while you're watching the companion, you can see the full fight card. You can create polls in the chat. They've got a new feature where if you have DAZN or I believe ESPN Plus, you can link your account to it and have the fights on the screen while you're watching the companion. So just super cool stuff they're doing over there. So follow me on sportsbooth.tv. And of course, if you want to join the conversation, let us know what you think about the fights or anything going on in MMA. Always click the link in the description. Join the Full-Time Family group chat, the Discord. If you don't know what Discord is, if you're new to Discord, it's literally just like a chat room, you know, where you can share stuff, videos, links, articles, and just chat. And it's specifically for us. So use the link in the description. Come join the Full-Time Family chat. We'll be over there chopping it up, man. Let the Full-Time Family know what you think in the comments. I'm out. Enjoy your days, weekends.
Bye, Felicia.